Right, ladies and gents, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the vlog. If you're new to the channel, a big warm welcome. My name's Tristan Mortlock and this is the YachtMaster. Today you join me in Alicante, which is on the east coast of Spain, on board this 2013 Princess 56. Now this Princess has brand new owners. It's Tim and his wife Linda and their two girls, Jessica and Sarah. And I'm on board for the next 2 to 3 days, teaching them how to operate their boat. So we're going to be going through pre-departure checks, boat handling here in the ports. We're going to be anchoring the boat, coming alongside, refueling, teaching communication, teaching the safety side, what safety equipment they should be carrying on board. So I really hope you guys do enjoy this episode. If you're new to this channel, then do check out episode number 1. And we're hoping to do 10 episodes of this video series of the YachtMaster. The purpose of this series is to make boat owner operators, viewers who might have a boat or might be thinking about buying a boat, understand boat handling, what it takes to operate a boat, and good communication, whether it's, you know, husband and wife or kids or families or friends, to make your boating experience more enjoyable. The moment you join me on board the sun deck here, and in the next few days we've got a bit of sun, we've got a bit of wind, so we're going to be docking and teaching in all different kind of situations, and hope you guys enjoy this video. So let's crack on with it.
We're delighted to announce that this series has been brought to you by Aquabanas. Aquabanas are redefining water entertainment with luxury modular inflatables for yachts, resorts, and luxury waterfronts worldwide. Using the finest materials available, Aquabanas designs ultimate inflatable yacht marina systems to fit yachts of all sizes with tables, seatings, slides, climbing walls, and room to park all the water toys. Picking your colors and adding your logo creates you a bespoke inflatable system that gets noticed. Optional Pantone color matching of the materials is available to give you the ultimate in a custom finish. Contact Aquabanas today about their resort and day club packages that can easily put up to 100 people on your waterfront, thereby creating unforgettable memories. Thanks again to Aquabanas for powering the YachtMaster.
Okay, so we're going to Ibiza today, right? So the plan would be maybe to leave in an hour. Take about 5 hours to get there, 5 to 6 hours depending on the speed. There is just less than 1 meter swell. So that could be, actually looking at this the last time, there was, when we came from Torrevieja, it said 1 meter as well, and it was probably a bit more than 1 meter. So I would say about, yeah, look, just to be prepared for that, 5 second kind of interval between spells, that's that. Now the other thing is, just to mention it in terms of going, it mightn't be ideal then to go to Palma after that, but we have to get the boat up there. So once it's not dangerous,
Yeah.
we'll go. It mightn't be comfortable,
Yeah.
but once it's not dangerous, we'll be going. Okay, so just into Navionics now. So I've done the passage plan on this, and it's fairly much a straight line just once we come out of Alicante, just to avoid this Cape de Lorta, the two kind of spots we'd go into. So if we had any kind of safety issues, that's where we'd go.
Okay, so that'd be your those are your safe havens.
They're my
Long,
safe havens, yeah.
great.
Yeah. So the distance between 1 and 2 is 89 miles, 89 nautical miles.
Will that be your cruising speed, 16 knots?
That would be slower than cruising. I think cruising is about 22 or something like that.
Okay. You want to make sure, I don't know about these engines, but the turbos are kicked in.
Oh, you're right.
Okay, so make sure the turbos are kicked in.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can burn out the compressors.
Yeah. Okay.
So you have to get to a certain speed.
So
You have to get a certain speed
if you're cruising.
if you're cruising for long periods of time. And if you do decide to go slow, what I suggest, depending on how long the passage is, every 2-3 hours,
Give it a belt.
give it a good belt for like 3-4 minutes, and then bring it back down.
Yeah.
If the turbos are kicked in, you shouldn't really need to. But it's not great for the engines on the long term to be cruising at slows. I know it uses a lot less fuel. I know that's what you're worried. I get it.
Well, Not necessarily, actually, because going. I know now, but going faster gets there faster, and there's actually a scenario in the calculations that I've done. Where going faster is the same fuel. Because
of engine hours as well.
And engine hours, of course, as well. Recently added to the list as of from yesterday. Check engine batteries. Check domestic batteries. So take all loose items off shelves in the salon and in the rooms. Have we enough fuel for the journey? We do in this case.
So let's say, for example, let's say the boat's not going on board a ship.
Yes.
What will you do with the fuel then?
In terms of, well, if it wasn't going on, I'd just fill it up.
Press the tanks.
Yeah.
What I always recommend, okay, think about where the fuel tanks are, okay? They're at the lowest point of the boat, the fuel tanks, okay? So the more fuel you have on board, the lower the center of gravity. Okay? Again, it's all small things, maximize the safety of the boat. You're gonna go out in a meter, potentially a meter and a half waves. It might be a bit on the beam, a bit on the nose, we're not sure. By having a lower center of gravity, the boat's going to roll less. So you need to make sure you're looking after well-being of the people on board, minimizing. You still might get a bit seasick. And the same with the water tanks. Always keep them pressed as much as you can. Always full.
I suppose I'm trying to balance, lugging around 600.
I understand. I understand. Everything I'm looking at is from a safety point of view.
Yeah, okay.
I understand there's obviously a cost element to these things, but it's all about.
I suppose gauge the weather too is what you're saying. A bigger swell, just go for it. In terms of filling it.
Fill up everything as much as you can. Again, the important thing to remember: this is a pleasure boat.
Yeah.
Don't be if the weather's bad. Don't be afraid to turn around. Don't think I really need to get there. It doesn't matter. Just rather come back into port, wait for the weather to be good. Because what people forget is that they think a boat's a boat. It's not. Every boat's designed for a purpose. This boat's designed for pleasure. Although it can handle the sea, you guys aren't seafarers. So why put your family through the big rough? Because then they start disliking the boat, thinking, "Oh, I don't even want to go on board. It's not a nice experience." It's all about.
Yeah, and we wouldn't generally go out.
No, you wouldn't, and it wouldn't be
unless, of course, we have to make somewhere. But generally, that would be maybe a delivery trip down to West Cork or something like that. We just want to get it down there before the next weekend when we're all going down. Kind of
So Linda, in an emergency along the way, if you need to get your life jacket on, where's your life jacket?
Actually,
if I need
just
to get
brought
it on.
something else up. Sorry. Sorry.
All
continue.
the life jackets are in that basket there.
Okay.
Just at the door.
Great. I didn't know that, so that's good to know.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you tried them on?
This season, no.
Okay. So obviously try them on. Make sure you know how to put them on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We do. And
I've tried them and I checked them.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you're.
But make sure everybody has tried them.
Yes.
Yeah.
The girls.
Yeah.
So then it becomes second nature. Because the last thing you want to do in emergency is like, where's my arm go?
Yeah.
And
No, we've been absolutely diligent with life jackets from day dot. When they were small, they weren't even allowed to step on the marina.
So continue on the safety equipment. What else would you be looking for?
Okay, so
you've done
life raft.
Okay.
So your flares, your life jackets, your life raft, and just make sure that everybody knows where it is.
Okay.
Now the reality of it is, it's a heavy.
Yep.
One.
Heavy. Yep.
The one that on this boat is an 8-man.
Yep. And they're heavy.
And it is heavy. And
Yep.
it's probably a bit overspec, but it's
There's no such thing as overspec.
Sorry, it might.
That's
be just,
exactly what you want.
well, in a sense, if you've only got 2 people on it, it mightn't be the best having an 8-man.
Well, the other thing you got to remember in these situations, okay, you'll be surprised how strong people are when you've got adrenaline pumping. Like, it's amazing what people can do. When survival mode kicks in, you just grab it.
And you'll just
get it out.
A really good kitted out first aid kit has to be on board.
Sure.
Yep. Very important. Have you guys done any first aid?
Linda did. 10 years ago.
Okay.
When she was nursing.
Yeah.
With these things again,
Missing a few bits and pieces now.
999 times in 1,000, nothing's going to happen. When it does happen, you want to make sure you got, the correct equipment, and you want to make sure, don't just buy the box and okay, I got the equipment. That's what everybody does.
Yeah.
But nobody knows what's inside the box. When you start like, how does this work? You start putting out instructions, things like that.
Yeah.
Just keep, I know you guys want to enjoy the boating. I get it. It's not.
I know because
I'm doing it from what we do as professional crew on board a yacht.
Yeah.
For you guys, it's going to be obviously very, very different.
Yeah.
Will you be doing cruising at night time with this boat?
I'd like to kind of do something on it, just to kind of do it.
Okay.
You know, just to see what it's like. But it wouldn't be a plan to be doing much overnight cruising on it, because you know you kind of have the speed, I suppose, to like, so the overnight cruising would normally be from Cork to the Scillies.
Okay. Yeah.
Or down to France. So you could be a day or you could be 2 days.
Sure. Okay.
Whereas from, you know, with this, you know, you don't go over
Okay.
10 or 12 hours really, and you don't have the range either. So on our trip back from the UK, we probably plan to do some sort of a night voyage, just to almost tick the box and just to see what it's like, but not regularly.
Okay. I was going to say, with the life buoy, maybe get a light with it as well. And the way the way it hangs up, the life buoy normally goes on the side. Depends on what you guys want to do. The light hangs upside down.
Yes.
And when you've seen these, when it floats, it goes upright, then the battery makes contact, and then light comes on. But if you're not going to be using it at night, you won't really need it.
Yeah, we
but
didn't
just
have a light on the light buoy, on our old light buoy. It was
you have a light.
We didn't.
You didn't. Okay.
No, it was one
All right.
without lights.
But if you're going to use it at night a lot, the boat, I would suggest that.
The horseshoe kind of one.
Okay. Yeah.
Is the one that
Another one with the long throw line.
the long throw
Yeah.
kind of down.
What needs to be in the grab bag?
Yeah, I don't know. You guys tell me. What would you put in your grab bag?
Okay, so first aid kit.
Well,
That will be
First aid.
that'll be separate.
yeah, it won't fit
Okay.
in a grab
Yeah.
bag. Probably.
Water.
Yes.
Um,
And you're going into a life raft. What do you think? The first thing you go into the life raft, what should you do? Say everybody's in the life raft now. The boat's gone. Okay. There's one thing that everybody must do. First thing you do, you get the life raft.
Position yourself
Okay.
in.
Yeah.
You know, so that you've got
Okay.
balance.
Great.
That's not it, obviously.
Okay.
Um,
How do you think it's going to be? How do you think you're going to feel inside the life raft?
Seasickness tablets.
Yeah. Straight away, everybody take a seasickness pill.
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe
Why?
that.
Because as soon as one person's seasick, it's like a chain reaction. Because that smell and the fact you're moving around, everybody will be seasick. And what's the danger with seasickness? Dehydration. So you want to keep your body hydrated. Okay. Ideally, in the first 24 hours, you're not going to drink any water. You want to save your water.
in the first 24 hours.
No water. Okay. So what else are you going to have in your grab bag? So we've said water, seasickness tablets.
Some sort of protein food, or like those bars.
Yep.
Energy bars that.
Those
have
long life.
Yeah.
Yep.
Slow release.
Okay.
Yeah, that
so
would
what's
probably be part of the life raft anyway, right?
I don't know what you got. It depends on the life raft. Every life raft's different.
Yeah,
Okay.
there is food.
What's the dangers of high protein food? We're talking about the importance of hydration, right? So when you're having high protein, your body to break down protein consumes a lot of water. So consider that. Doing what you're doing, what I'm saying is everything is in extreme cases.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Doing what you're doing, you're not going to be worried about it, because I would assume if you've got an EPIRB, you guys would be rescued within 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Easy. You know, in Ireland, the UK, this is just my opinion, they have the best search and rescue centres than anywhere else in the world. They're just next level. You know, the maritime industry around the UK is just phenomenal. I'm comparing it to like the US Coast Guard, France. They're so good at what they do. So you would be rescued. So if you are out at sea, be careful of proteins, because you can survive without food for weeks and weeks and weeks.
So
water,
is the
3
most.
days.
Yeah.
So you got to think about the risk of eating, you know, when are you going to be rescued type stuff. Great. The differences between like a marine engine and your standard car engine is on the car you have a radiator, okay? As you're driving the car, the airflow cools what's called the coolant inside the radiator. On a marine engine, what happens is what's cooling, because you have seawater cooling and you have the internal, what we call the freshwater coolants, right? So the seawater then goes through a heat transfer, okay, heat exchanger, cooling the coolant inside here. That's the difference. And then what comes out, then the seawater comes out through the exhaust.
Oh, okay.
The important thing we know, okay, from yesterday, we were running the engines, we didn't have any issue with temperatures,
No.
Yeah.
okay, and we know there's water flow coming out the exhaust.
Yeah.
Okay, so these strainers usually on like a, you know, obviously on this boat it's a bit different, is once a month we would clean them out regardless if they are dirty or clean, just to keep, it's part of what we call the planned maintenance.
Yeah.
So
there is what looks like a bit of a cable tie in there.
Okay.
Right? But
Okay.
it's isolated in.
That won't do any trouble because that'll stay inside the basket.
It can't get
As
into the
opposed to maybe a
basket.
plastic bag could just completely clog the whole thing or something. Okay.
So
what's next?
you see how, like, we were talking yesterday, I think, the bilges are white. They're painted white. The reason they do that is if there are any leaks, like oil, coolant, it's a lot more visible.
Oh, you'll see it on it.
You'll see
Either
it.
brown or green.
Yeah, exactly. So if it was like a black bilge or a dark coloured bilge, it's a lot harder to find any kind of leaks. Clean it first. They're the two bumps.
They're the two bumps. Normally
Yeah.
it can be marked min-max, but it's not in this case, so they're just the two bumps.
So where do you want it to be
So
if you were
the
taking
oil
off?
in between those two marks.
Okay, and then
Now,
if it
if
was at the
it's-
very bottom, you'd be thinking.
Topping
You'd
it
be
up.
topping it up.
Or the question you'd be asking yourself
Why?
is why is it?
Yeah.
And where is that oil gone? So then you'd be checking the bilges, any kind of leaks.
So there's so much more space in here than the old boat,
Oh gosh, absolutely.
and it's so much better. Yeah, so that's
Yeah,
again
that's
very
up to
good
the
quality.
Up to the top.
Up to the top.
Yeah. Okay, so fuel filter. Okay, so before that fuel filter on the engine, what's the fuel go through?
It goes through the pre-fuel filters.
Yep.
Which are these fellas.
Perfect.
Two on
And
each side.
what's the main purpose for those?
Take water out.
Yeah. So how do you check there's water in there?
So you
Separation.
take a little container and just drain a small bit of water out. Well, visually,
Visually
you can
from
look.
the top looking down. So
It's
it's
cloudy.
no. So what's heavier, fuel or water?
Water's heavy, so the water
So it
will
will
be at
sink to the
end.
bottom.
Yeah.
So you look down inside the cup, and sometimes if it's dirty fuel, you might see little bits inside there,
Yeah.
little black bits and stuff.
So is
okay?
that fuel?
That's
Yes.
fuel. So if you see a little bit of black bits in there, water, don't worry too much about it. That's kind of normal, but don't let it fill up too much. And normally at the bottom, you get like a plastic container, okay? And then you just drain it, drain out a few,
Few.
centiliters of it, and so it clears out, okay? If you get an alarm on here, on the thing, the boat will still run.
Yes. Yeah.
It's just telling you, by the way, there's water, and you've got to come down, drain it out.
And check it. Yeah,
you know.
and see what they do.
Okay, so you check the oil level. You check there's no sign of leaks and stuff on the main engines.
Yeah.
You check the fuel filters. What other levels are you going to check?
Coolant,
Great.
or yellow,
Yeah.
in this case.
Just make sure there's coolant in there, and you can have a little visual inspection. Just make sure it's not too low. That to me looks pretty good. There's what you do, just dip your finger in there, and then just make sure there's no like bits or anything, any contamination.
Slightly oily, but not oily. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, and that looks clean. There's no contamination there at all. There you go. Nice.
Okay, very good.
And then we do the same on the other side. Nice.
They basically link the two tanks. So I showed you earlier where the filling one was.
Yes.
But there's also one on the other side.
Yeah.
So it just means that we don't have to fill both tanks. We can just fill one side, and the fuel that's going in here will also go into the other tank, and they'll both rise at the same time. Okay, I'll get actually that. So fairly clean.
But your bilge is nice and cleaner. There's no
signs of-
no oil, no coolant, no seawater, no fresh water. That's a captain's dream.
So they're all in great conditions. Yeah.
So that's a good thing to know. If you have a burst water inlet, those are the valves to shut it down.
Yeah.
Because when you closed it, you exercised it. So then it's going to be easier to open again. Great.
What's this one now?
This is the gearbox.
It's nice and clean. Look at that. That's exactly what you want. Beautiful. That's lovely.
Yeah.
It's right on the top.
Just
Exact.
right here.
Yeah.
Perfect. And this basically the shaft that goes through the hull of the boat and then connects to the propeller.
Not much now, but I'm just going to
Okay.
clean it and I'll kind of monitor it and
Yep.
see what it's like the next time I come down.
Yeah.
Maybe just water from something else or although.
Yeah, we'll continue to monitor that. We'll, when we come back, or when we drop anchor, we can have a quick look at that. The good thing is, right, is it's not massive amount, but it could be a small little drip or something. Yeah, when we come back, that's dry now. So when we come back later, if there is water there, you know you've got a little drip.
It looks fairly clean as well, right? Like it doesn't look worn. I think they were done within the last 2 or 3 years.
Okay. Right, so you got the belt cover here. Okay. Can you see the belt from your angle there? Here?
I can, yeah.
Yeah. So you see that rotates?
Yeah.
That's pretty much maximum. So that's about a quarter of the turn.
Okay.
You don't want that to go over half.
Okay.
That's perfect.
Okay.
And this side? Yeah, that one's good.
See this little thing here with the red little tip on it?
Yeah.
So that's the shut off
For fuel.
for the fuel, which is instigated by the levers up here that I showed you earlier this morning. Would you shut them off in the off season? Don't. No need.
No.
Okay. Would you have your tanks filled in the off season?
If you're not using the boat, you can put a fluid in the tanks, which prevents diesel bug, all that kind of stuff, like winterizing the tanks. Okay. Yeah. You'd rather... Okay, so what you don't want to do is have half tanks.
That's the point, yeah.
You don't want that air inside. Yes. That's where you get all the...
condensation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Do you want to check the Jenny quickly? Just the
Jenny
generator?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, same kind of scenario again. This is your oil.
Yeah, I'll get some of that.
Okay, so it's right up there.
Lovely.
No bother. Not as clean as the other one, but still, there's nothing wrong with it at all. Yeah, it's fine. There's nothing. So take this out. Yeah, this is the oil fill.
And can you spot where the impeller housing is?
This fella here, I'd imagine.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, so that's perfect.
Yeah, that looks clean.
Yeah.
Lovely. Good, yeah, happy with that?
Okay.
You guys happy?
Yeah.
Right, let's make our way to the foredeck. Right, so this is obviously quite a big line. So the way these work, we want to untie it from here. Right, untie. And this fairly is quite thin, so it's going to be quite tricky. So we want to loosen it. There we go. And then what we do, we just drop it and we wait, because sometimes they might float, but in this case it's sinking straight away, so you're absolutely fine. Okay, you have to monitor now. We're going to release that final port side stern line, okay? Okay, if you loosen that one if we can. Yeah, can just unhook it. No, we can untie it fully and we'll put it on the after deck, because if one falls in the water it can be a little problemo. We're going to leave these on the dock because I need these back on board. As soon as we untie there, the boat's going to launch forward. So let's undo these lines. Great, let's go under. Lovely jubbly. So we'll just bring the passerelle in now, and we're going to leave the starboard quarter lines on the dock. Okay, all stern lines are off.
So we're moving.
All clear. All clear. Okay, you cleared the pontoon on port and starboard side. Well done.
Okay. Opposite the ground line there.
Yeah. Neutral. Port ahead. Lovely. Explain to me, okay, so you're coming into the anchorage, okay, who's going to be dropping the anchor?
Okay, so I'm going to get Linda to drop the anchor.
Okay, great.
Right.
So you want to anchor in how many meters, do you say?
We're talking about 8 meters.
And how much chain are you going to ask
So
Linda to drop?
in these conditions, first time dropping the anchor, I'd probably go with 3 times.
Okay.
The 24 meters. Now,
okay.
The problem is, I'm not sure if that chain is marked.
It probably won't be.
Yeah.
Okay, so how would you guess the meterage?
About a meter every...
Depends on the speed, right?
Yeah.
So how are you going to position the vessel before you drop the anchor?
So I'm going to face into the wind.
Great. Okay. Okay, so windlass on.
Okay.
So you have the lights on, so we're good. Right, so we've got the safety lock here.
Yep.
So we want to remove that first. Okay, so normally what you want to do before you come into the anchorage is just drop it down a little bit to test it's working. Perfect.
Yeah, I can drop the anchor.
Okay, yep. And we're going to open this one as well to monitor the amount of chain. Stop there. And now we're getting good tension. See now the stern's swinging around. And what will happen is the bow will end up facing the wind. You see now it's coming straight with the chain. So you can put the controller back in its place. Okay, he's going to test this, so don't stand near it. Okay, test it. Here? Yeah. Perfect. The reality is, the more anchor chain you have out, the safer the vessel. As long as you got radius, you know, swing radius, and no boats or shallow waters around you. Are you guys happy to have a cup of coffee?
Yeah.
Enjoy the sun a bit?
Yeah.
Starboard astern should do that for me. Stop my momentum a small bit, but and I'm going to go port astern. Yeah. Okay, that was
no wind.
Yeah, no wind.
Coming out, what would you do? Don't do anything yet. What would you do?
So I'd probably, to get myself going, I would go port ahead.
Yep, perfect. Let's do that.
And that will just kick me back a bit, and then.
Good. And watch your bow as well. Put your bow more.
Okay, can I just see my bow drifting there a tiny bit? What have I have there, Jessica? Okay, so port astern again, just a bit, and then probably starboard astern, just to kind of, or starboard ahead. I mean, sorry,
the other astern, right?
The other astern.
Never look back when you're coming out. You're just looking to your side. You need to be seeing where the boat's positioned.
Yeah. Along
the pier, right? Yeah. We'll go out. We'll do a U-turn again, and then Linda's gonna have a go.
Okay.
You remember how to do it? Forwards. Right. A bit more. Right engine backwards. Neutral.
About 3 meters at your back, so.
Left engine. Done.
So I need to clear my ground lines.
Is that your first time?
Ever.
So you're now drifting towards that boat sideways. So ideally now you sort of start swinging your bow around, remember, into the wind. So do that starboard stern, port ahead, starboard stern, port ahead. Yeah, port ahead.
Yeah.
What's your bow? Neutral. Bow thrust to starboard. What's your bow? Bow thrust. Keep an eye on your bow. Okay, it keeps going to port. Okay, starboard ahead. Good. No, that's wrong engine. Starboard ahead. Starboard ahead. Okay, neutral. Stern thrust to port. So you want to go that way. Stern thruster to port. There we go. Okay, now port astern. Neutral. Stern thruster to starboard. Starboard, 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 starboard. Stern thrust to starboard. Starboard. Right. More. Good. Okay, good. Okay, we'll have to position fenders. Cool, and we're in. So I was just saying to Tim that these circumstances are very tricky. Okay, so number one, in most Mediterranean berths, you won't have these piers coming down the side. Yeah. So what would normally happen, if you look at the berth 2 boats down, not this boat, the next berth, okay, there's no pontoon in between the berths. So when you come in, he's got his fenders up on his starboard side, you got on your port side. Yeah. Once he's put the vessel in place, you can rest onto the other boat. Here is quite tricky because you've got the boat and you've got the pontoon, so you can't really rest on either. Yeah. Okay, so that's tricky. The other thing as well is we've got the wind right on our starboard side. Yeah. So it's instinct. So when I kept telling you what to do, if I let you just drive the boat, your instinct is not quite there yet to know exactly
No.
you know what to do.
Yeah, definitely not.
Okay.
Yeah.
However, saying that, if the fender's the correct position, his fender's in the correct position, this pontoon wasn't here, and you keep that momentum astern, 9 times out of 10 you've been okay. The other thing you need to bear in mind is your visibility from up there is limited.
Yes.
Okay. If I wasn't there giving you directions, can you see where you're going?
I can't see the leg, the end of the leg.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So I was going for it in a few times, as in I was in heading to hit it. And
Yeah.
I couldn't really see it, and you were directing me on it and telling
Yeah.
me, okay, you need to get out of here now. Kind of
Yeah.
thing. So yeah, maybe
so
I should
Okay.
be looking over the side a bit more.
Should have been, but the other thing as well, if those pontoons weren't there, can you see if you're lining up with, say, this boat here, that you're in the correct position? Would you say?
Parallel to him.
Yeah.
I can, but I wasn't
Okay.
looking, as you said earlier. I wasn't looking at my bow was drifting.
Yeah.
You know, and so you were trying to get me to keep my bow straight to the pontoon. Is that correct?
Yeah, because the moment that you let go of the bow is going to go into that boat, and then you got the 2 pontoons. You got this boat. Your bow's like this. It's just, and the wind's pushing you here. It's just a very difficult position to be in. So you're continuously countering the wind. So you're correcting it, but then you're turning around and you're thinking that nothing's going to happen to the bow. The moment you stop using that thruster, that moment you stop, the wind's countering that. So then it'll reach a point where it's neutral, and a second later, or half a second later, it's now drifting to port again. Does that make sense?
Which was bringing his bow
that way.
that way.
Yeah. Okay. The other thing to bear in mind, when you do use your thruster, okay, and let's say we're going, okay, I'm continuing saying, you know, bow thruster starboard, bow thruster that way. So the bow's going that way. What's the stern doing?
The other way.
Going like that.
It's kicking it.
So that's why I was saying, you know, port astern to bring the port more that way, and starboard. Eventually we said stern thruster to starboard.
And when you were saying port to stern, that was the engine lever, not the bow thruster.
Port astern is the engine lever, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because you want to continue the momentum. As soon as you stop the momentum, you're on board. You're on there. You always want to keep going backwards.
Okay.
As much as you can, until you're at a point where you think, not happy with this, and like we did, go out, start again. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Okay.
That's good. It was good practice.
Mm-hmm.
You know what the boat's going to do.
Yes. I
You do.
Yeah.
What happens is you allow the stress of the situation to make your mind get all puzzled or what you want to do.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah. And the only way you get over that is do it again and again and again and again, and eventually you won't even think about it. You know what you're going to do before anything. You know, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to do. Because you saw, like, immediately when we got out, I took over, I put the boat immediately into a safe position, stern into the wind. And that was just instinct, you know. Whereas I was watching you, I knew you're going to try and bring the bow to starboard.